Hi, everyone. Welcome to the session. We're going to be talking about Okta and Microsoft integrations of today and the future. My name is Venkatesh Gopalakrishnan. I'm on the product management team here at Okta, and I'm going to be joined by Snegha and Vijay, who will introduce themselves a bit later, who'll be talking through the bulk of the material today. So quick note on the safe harbor statement. You've seen this before. Okta is a public company, so we will make future looking statements in our presentation today, and just note that they're all subject to change, and you can of course look at this slide later at your leisure. Now, if you're watching this session, chances are you're an Office 365 customer or a Windows 10 customer, and also an Okta customer, or at least a prospective Okta customer, and you're probably wondering about how you can secure access for your Office 365 users using Okta. You're probably wondering how you can automate provisioning and lifecycle management for your O365 users from Okta as well. And probably wondering about how you can really take advantage of the latest and greatest technology from Microsoft and Windows 10 when Okta is your identity platform at your company. And you're probably looking at what your situation is today, and I'm willing to bet that many of you who are watching today probably have quite complex on-prem infrastructure with legacy solutions. You probably have multiple tools like PowerShell and MIM and maybe some manual processes in there to provision users to Office 365. And you probably have some questions about your overall IT efficiency, particularly when it comes to desktop and mobile operating systems. And so if anything I've just said resonates with you, I'm willing to bet that you are watching the right session, because Snegha and Vijay, as they pick things up from here, are going to talk exactly about these three topics: secure access to every Office 365 resource, automating Office 365 adoption and lifecycle management with Okta, and adopting the latest and greatest from Windows 10 using Okta as your security protection layer. So with that said, I'd like to turn things over to Snegha. Please introduce yourself and take it away.
Great. Thanks, Venkatesh. Hi, everyone. My name is Snegha, and I'm a senior security specialist on the pre-sales team here at Okta. I'm always excited to work with my customers to see what we're up to and how we can help you truly be successful. So to start with, today, we're going to talk about securing access to Office 365. Just like the name sounds, we're always working hard to make sure that everything that you do with Okta is secure and seamless. Office 365 is one of those critical applications today that we notice is a top application adopted by almost a lot of our customers. If we notice the list of customers that use us today, you'll notice that's a growing organizational chart. So 4,000 plus organizations use Office 365 with Okta today. And we've been working really hard to not just make them successful, but also take their feedback and make it even better. So I've been hearing we've been up to a lot of different things to make security and access with Office 365 even better. Vijay, could you help us walk through that?
Sure. Thanks, Neha. Hey, everyone. My name is Vijay Pitchumani, and I work on the product team here at Okta, leading our Microsoft integrations. As you can see, Office 365 is really our biggest app in the Okta integration network, and we take this integration really seriously. Like Snegha mentioned, we've done a lot of improvements over the last year to really improve the overall access to Office 365 and giving customers the ability to adopt any Office 365 technology that they have. So I'll walk you through some of the biggest improvements that we've made. The first one that I want to talk to you about is today, we now have the ability to federate multiple Office 365 domains with a single Okta app. So without this feature, customers really had to use a single Office 365 app for every domain that they want to federate with Okta. Now think about a customer who has 200 different domains that they want to federate with Okta. They would have to create 200 different Office 365 apps within the Okta org for them to federate all of their domains. This is a painfully slow process for companies and really a lot of redundant work for IT admins that they have to do. With this feature now available, customers can really achieve a faster Office 365 rollout for their company. They can now have a centralized policy management where they can create a policy once in an Office 365 app and instantly roll it out to the 200 different domains or any domain that they want to federate with Okta. And really, at the end of the day, this reduces a lot of redundant IT work and increases IT efficiency. This feature is available today in your Okta org, and you can really take advantage of this capability right after this session by going to your Okta org and trying it out. We are super excited about this feature, and we want to get a lot of feedback. So definitely, please let us know once you've tried this feature. Another capability that we announced last year that I want to talk to you about today is the ability to now use Okta MFA with Azure AD Conditional Access. Now, at Okta, we really believe that we should give customers the tools and the choice you want to Okta sign-on policies today, where there's a lot of policy controls that you could enforce, such as browser or protocol or network policies. Also, there is Azure AD Conditional Access policies, which are very good for Office 365 apps, such as like limited access and device state. The problem without this feature was if you had to use Azure AD Conditional Access and trigger a step-up auth, you were not able to use Okta MFA with that policy. Now, we announced this capability last year where customers can now use Okta sign-on policies or Azure AD Conditional Access and really use Okta MFA as the single MFA solution for step-up auth on either of these policies. For customers, the benefit is this gives an increased security posture because they can use Okta or Azure AD Conditional Access. You can avoid paying and managing multiple MFA solutions because that's a pain. And really, for your end users, they can now standardize on using a single MFA solution like an Okta Verify, as opposed to installing and going through the process of setting up multiple MFA solutions, really giving them a seamless end user experience at the end. This capability is also available in EA today, and it is self-serviceable. So you can go to your Okta org right after this session and try out this capability. Now, we've focused a lot on our Office 365 enterprise space, and all our integrations until today at Okta have been around integrating with the Office 365 enterprise. Today, I'm proud to announce that we are expanding our capabilities and integrations from not just Office 365 Enterprise, but to Office 365 US public sector customers. Now, like Snegha mentioned at the start, and Venkatesh as well, our vision with our Office 365 integration is to secure access to any Office 365 resource that you have with Okta. And Office 365 public sector is one such resource. Really, with this capability now, customers can use Okta as the single identity solution to connect not just Office 365 Enterprise, but also Office 365 US public sector. For your end users, there's really a consistent end user experience because now they don't have to see different sign-on experiences when they log into Office 365 Enterprise and Office 365 GCC5. And they can standardize on Okta as the single identity platform to connect to those capabilities. This capability will be beta really soon, and we are excited for customers to sign up. So please be on the lookout for our release notes on when the beta is available so that you can start to sign up for the beta and try out this feature and really give us feedback. These were some of the big improvements that we've made over the last year. Snegha, what do you think?
I think we've clearly been up to a lot these days. So just to kind of summarize for our customers as to what are the different things that they can start doing, especially with securing access to O365. To start with, it's now one single click to be able to fetch all your different domains with Office 365 and start to federate with them the way you need to instead of many different applications. Second, I know I've worked with a lot of customers on the ask of how can I make the most of the security policies that I have with Okta's adaptive engine as well as Microsoft's engine. To combine these together without compromising on end user experiences like MFA, our Pass Claim MFA feature enables you to consolidate your MFA experience without compromising on the security policies that you need to truly be secure. Last but not the least, just to focus on our government customers a bit more, this is just the start of many more. but we are going to be introducing support for GCC and GCC High with the beta coming out really soon that we hope you'll all be a part of. We talked about a lot of different things in securing access. And the key thing to remember, like Vijay said, is both Microsoft and Okta are here to work together to make sure that you can secure access to any Office 365 resource, and we're here to support you. With that, we move to our second topic, automate Office 365 adoption. Now, the word automation means so many different things in all of our environments and typically involves several lines of code and several different things that you want to do. A lot of you are familiar with Okta's product lifecycle management that helps us truly think about what are the different life states of a user and how can we automate the different steps there. For example, onboarding a user, creating a user to make sure they have the right access, updating the user to make sure things are up to date. When someone leaves the company, making sure that they're deprovisioned, the licenses are taken away, and that we're truly managing that access the right way. This has been something a lot of our customers have been successful. Over 1,000 companies today use Okta's lifecycle management to automate a lot of their onboarding and offboarding flows. But as you know, we've been up to a lot of new updates and changes with all things security, automation, Office 365. Hopefully, a lot of you have been able to attend other sessions or our keynotes where we've talked about our new product, Okta Workflows. As you've seen, Okta Workflows is truly a powerful engine that gives us the ability to automate so many different workflows that are unique to your environment without needing to write code. Now, a key piece of this is actually O365, and I am really excited to say that we have an O365 connector on Workflows that is here to help us fast forward in the space of all things automation and O365. And I would want us to start to think about how we can use this for our unique needs. Vijay, can you tell us a little bit about how the O365 connector can be used today?
Entire product is to help customers fully automate your Office 365 adoption from the cloud and really complete and codify this automation from a point-and-click UX without having to maintain or write custom code or custom PowerShell scripts, and really helping you move away from your from your legacy infrastructure to a more modern approach. So I'll walk you through some of the key capabilities that we've unlocked with this Office 365 connector and workflows. The first capability I want to talk to you about is we can now do identity conflict resolution for Office 365. Remember how you have your PowerShell scripts to check whether a user exists in Office 365 before you actually provision the user? Those scripts can be nasty because you get a number of users back, and really, you have to decide what your business logic is. Should you add a 1 or a 2 right after the email? So it's really a painful process. I've worked with customers who've codified this on PowerShell, and they really have like 100 lines of PowerShell scripts that does this job for them. Really, with the Workflows platform and the Office 365 connector, you can configure this entire business process on the Workflows platform via a simple point-and-click UX. And customers can really move away from their PowerShell scripts or legacy infrastructure to complete this use case. Another big use case we've unlocked is we've tightly integrated with the Microsoft Graph, and we have the ability to provision more than 50 attributes to Office 365 today. There are a lot of new attributes that are currently available. Attributes like office location, mail nickname, or preferred languages that can now be provisioned to Office 365. And really, our goal with this entire connector, like I said, is your user is born in some HR system in like Workday or even an Active Directory. You can pull those users into Okta and really push the full user profile to Office 365 so you have a seamless experience onboarding the user. People get married, people move departments all the time, and their email address changes consistently. However, today IT admins do not have a way to detect those email address changes in Office 365 and pull them into Okta automatically. They would have to use a custom script to call into Okta APIs to achieve this use case. Now, with this Workflows connector, we now have the capability to really, read the email address back from O365 at frequent intervals and update the Okta and Okta user profile. So you can really push the email address changes to like a downstream app, like a Salesforce or a Box or a Slack. Really, going towards making Okta like your single platform to completely automate your Office 365 adoption. Now, all of this is great, and we are really excited about this. But if you notice, there is all of these use cases are focused towards your employees. We definitely acknowledge that, as a company, you don't just have employees. You have partners, contractors, suppliers, and guests that you also need Office 365 access. And as an IT team, you want to automate onboarding of your external users as well. So today, I'm proud to announce that we now have the capability to provision Azure B2B guests from Okta to Office 365 via the Workflows connector. Really, like I said, our vision is for you to use Okta as the single platform to not just manage and onboard employees, but your partners and contractors. With this Workflows platform and the connector, you can now customize your invitation flow and invitation language based on your preferences. You don't have to use the standard custom message that comes with inviting a guest user to your organization. And really, at the end, this is a seamless experience for partners when signing into Office 365 and collaborating with your employees at Okta. This capability is generally available with the Workflows platform, and you can use this capability right after this session by getting your hands on the Workflows platform directly. Now, this is great, right? Provisioning guest users to Office 365. There is another big use case that we've unlocked by having this capability that I'm really excited to talk to you about. That use case is Office 365 multiple tenant collaboration. Now, we know that 95% of customers who currently use Microsoft M365 licenses are existing in multiple Office 365 tenants. You exist in multiple O365 tenants for multiple different reasons, but the common problem all of our customers have is that there is no way to achieve a common global address list across all of these tenants. Now, what I mean by that is if an employee in one Office 365 tenant wants to collaborate with another employee in another tenant, they cannot collaborate via Teams or OneDrive or Outlook without this common global address list. Now, with Workflows, this really automates your end-to-end process. What you can do now is when a new user is onboarded, you can now configure an entire business process where you can provision the user as an employee in one of your Office 365 tenants and provision them as guests in all of your other Office 365 tenants. This is Microsoft's recommended way of helping you achieve cross-tenant collaboration, and you can achieve this entire use case without having to write a single line of code and codifying this business process with a point-and-click UX on the Workflows platform. At the end of the day, the value we are giving for our customers and end users is you get seamless collaboration experience for their end users. And for IT admins, you don't have to write 500 lines of PowerShell scripts to automate this entire use case. And you don't need any legacy infrastructure that you have or maintain to achieve this scenario. This is exciting, right? We are really excited about this use case. I want to show you how this actually works on the Workflows platform. So I'm going to turn it over to Snegha to actually show you a demo on how this works end to end today on the Workflows platform and how easy it is. Snegha?
Thanks, Vijay. So sounds like there's a lot of different use cases that we can open here. And what I hope to show you now is a sneak peek into how this truly works using Okta and Workflows. So to start with, what we're going to do is we're going to show you not just how these different admin consoles look, but also how do we truly enable collaboration? How do these guest accounts actually get created, and walk you through a sample there. So to get started, let's assume there is a user, Ron, who works for parent company A. Ron wants to work with Hermione, who's a new user in the acquired company B. So as usual, they go into Teams and Ron looks for Hermione, but he notices that Hermione can't be found and is not actually able to directly work with Hermione in his instance of Teams. So let's see if we can actually make this happen. To start with, we're first going to take a look at Okta. Within Okta, you'll notice that we have two O365 tenants here. And as we know, that's a pretty common scenario. We have a parent company, an acquired company, and just to call out, this could be not just in one Okta tenant, but in multiple Okta tenants as well. This is just for the demo purposes. So first step, let's go ahead and onboard Hermione. Hermione just joined the company, acquired company, so we are going to go ahead and assign her to that application within Okta to then see how we can help her be collaborative. We'll assign Hermione in Okta just like you're used to. And once that's done, we'll go ahead and see how we can enable these flows in Workflows. When we switch over to Workflows, there's a few different goals that we're trying to achieve here. Hermione's a new user. So step one, we want to make sure that she has an account in her company's unique O365 tenant, followed by which we want to make sure she has access as a guest user to the parent company. So you'll notice here that we have a trigger assigned to based on the user assignment, and quickly followed by creating a cloud user in the Dev Okta Inc. tenant, which is the acquired company's unique tenant. You'll also notice that we not only have the fields that we configured, but so many more to truly ensure that this is customizable and based on what you need to create a user based on your needs. Now that Hermione has been created in Dev Okta Inc., we need to make sure that she has a license to actually start getting email and working in her company. The assigned licenses can be customized based on what kind of licenses you're using, but you'll notice that this is happening in tenant that the acquired company is using, Dev Okta Inc. Now, we talked a little bit about read user and why that's so important. And just to come back to that, typically it's really hard to read back and update Okta's profile with, now that that user has been created, what does that mean? What is this user's email address? So if you'll notice here in read user, we're now able to automatically do that and understand what are the pieces of information you need to read back about this user, Hermione. So you'll notice here that we are now understanding few pieces of information about her, including her email address. You can use this to both update the Okta profile and also trickle down and create other flows. In this case, we're showing our new feature, creating a guest user. This is a direct integration with the Azure B2B API, which not only lets us create a guest user in the tenant O365 admin, which is the parent company's console for O365, but also customize the invite email and so much more to truly ensure this is an experience that seems seamless to not just your employees and admins, but also anybody else who interacts with your interface. Now, if you look back at the times without these tools, without Okta and Workflows, this would have taken us so many lines of code and PowerShell scripts to start to use these steps. We hope that these are the pieces that when they come together, ease the load on so many different things you'll be doing in your environment. We're now going to take a look to see if this actually worked. As you can see, Hermione has been created as a guest user in Ron's parent company. So now Ron and Hermione can work together and be collaborative together. And we hope that this was a very easy and quick way for you to see the power of Okta and Workflows in real time. With that, I'm going to summarize a few different things that we just talked about with automation. So first, you notice that Workflows is truly a powerful tool for you to customize based on your needs and is very easy to use without any pieces of code that you'll need to own and customize and update. Second, we're starting to think about not just employees, but all the different kind of users that you have in your environment. Guest users are a big part of that, and we really hope that you can go back and start to think about what that means in your environment and hopefully test that out with us and actually set up collaboration in a way that's useful. And we look forward to hearing feedback about that from you. Now, all of that ends up leading to us wanting to explain that Okta is truly the tool that you can start to use, not just for access, but to truly adopt all the things within Office 365 and modernize not just the software that you're hosting on cloud or on-prem, but the tools that you use to truly be successful with a lot of these different tools. With that, we're going to reach our last topic, adopting Windows 10 integrations. Now, I know I work with my customers on a day-to-day basis and they tell me, hey, this new software came out. What about Azure AD Join? What about modern management? What about hybrid? Does this work with Okta? Does this not work with Okta? How can I do this in a way that's secure? And we're here to tell you that we not only want to support these flows, but truly want to enable you to adopt these in a way that makes you the most successful. With that, I know we've released a lot of different features here to truly understand what our customers need to adopt Windows 10 and other latest technology. Vijay, could you walk us through that, please?
Sure. So, over the last years, we announced an integration on Windows 10 where we could now support Windows Hello for business enrollments with Okta. Now, really, like Snegha mentioned, we've had a lot of questions around, hey, how does Okta work with the latest Windows 10 technology, right? And this was really our start of getting more tightly integrated with Windows 10. And, we definitely acknowledge that customers have Windows 10 as their primary device platforms, and we take this integrations really seriously. So with this Windows Hello for Business integrations, what you could now do is when you enroll into Windows Hello for Business, there is an MFA flow that end users have to complete. Now, previously, without this integration, end users had to go through an Azure MFA flow for them to complete this entire enrollment process. The challenges with that are, for IT admins, again, they had to pay and maintain and manage multiple MFA solutions. And for end users, they had to go through the training of how to essentially use and enroll into multiple MFA solutions. With this integration now available, IT admins and end users can standardize on Okta as the single MFA solution, and they can enroll into Windows Hello for Business and really move from a password-based login to a PIN-based login, which is more secure and something that we definitely recommend for our customers. For end users, this really gives them a seamless end user experience because they don't have to go and switch between multiple MFA apps. They can rely on a single MFA solution for all of their integration needs, right? So we announced this integration last year. Again, this is available in early access today in your org. You can go right after this session and enable this via sets. We've had a lot of questions over the last year on, hey, okay, Okta works with Windows Hello for Business. Microsoft released Windows AutoPilot. What's the story around AutoPilot? Does Okta work with Windows AutoPilot? So today, I'm proud to announce that we now have the capability to support Windows AutoPilot with Okta. Now, let me take a second to walk you through what we've done here. So definitely, IT admins can now use Windows AutoPilot with not just Azure AD joint devices, but also hybrid Azure AD joint devices. We did not just stop there. What we've also done is we've extended Windows AutoPilot as a policy in your Office 365 app so that you can enforce an MFA during the Windows AutoPilot enrollment process only. Now, why is this important? We've heard from customers all the time that, hey, I use Windows AutoPilot, but really my Windows AutoPilot process is for setting up a Windows machine for an employee that is remote. And for an employee that's remote who just goes into a Best Buy and gets a brand new Windows machine, I really want them to step up auth before they complete the entire setup process of the Windows machine. This policy enables you to do that. Now, we are really excited about this capability because Windows AutoPilot has been an ask for a lot of our customers, and we want our customers right now for the beta, and we really want to hear your feedback on how Windows AutoPilot works with Okta. Now, you also definitely heard about Okta FastPass today in Todd's keynote session and also in multiple other breakout sessions. Really, with Okta FastPass, you get the seamless login into any app that you want on a Windows 10 machine without having to log into Okta ever again. You just have to log in once. That is super cool, right? Now, think about the entire experience of this Windows AutoPilot support and Okta FastPass together. The scenario we are unlocking for customers is, as an IT admin, you can now have your end users set up your brand new Windows machine without even having to touch the machine. Like they can go through the entire setup process. They can enroll the device in an MDM solution like Intune. They can domain join a device, either Azure AD joined or hybrid Azure AD joined based on your configurations. They can set up Windows Hello for Business with Okta. And then after the Windows machine is now set up, they can now use Okta FastPass to seamlessly log in to any Office, any app, not just Office 365, but apps like Box or Slack or Salesforce, without having to enter their password. This is super powerful because we've really extended our integrations and we take our Windows 10 integrations seriously. And we want to give you the best experience possible on a Windows 10 machine and really give you the key takeaway, which is you are not making a compromise in choosing Okta as your identity provider when using Windows 10. This is great, right? And I'm sure you guys want to know how this works. So I want to turn it over to Snegha to really walk you through a demo on this entire end-to-end process of setting up a brand new machine to all the way to login using Okta. Snegha?
Thanks, Vijay. So that sounds like a demo that I really want to do. So just to get started, what we're going to walk through is me as an employee being able to access a device that was just shipped to me. How am I able to get access to the tools I need and also ensure that I have seamless access? We'll be able to see both AutoPilot as well as Okta FastPass, which is enabled using our client Okta Verify on a Windows machine. So let's get started. I'm a user, Hermione, who just been shipped a new device. Once I open this machine, the first thing I do is enter my email address. Once I type in this email address, we hope to trigger the AutoPilot flow that I have with my company. And this AutoPilot flow is now gated with an Okta policy. This is really, really important, as you'll notice here, because you can customize all of this to be the way that you want your security story to look like. You can gate this with MFA. In this scenario, we've chosen password followed by Okta Verify as our choice of MFA. But it's up to you as to how you want to gate this process. You can have step up MFA with a choice of a tool. And if it was a new user, you could also enable the ability to enroll your MFA at that step as well. Now, as you know, AutoPilot has several different customization flows, and you can customize a lot of these different screens based on your unique needs. In our case, just for the demo, we've chosen just a few steps like Windows Hello for Business with just the pin. And hopefully you'll remember what Vijay just mentioned about Windows Hello for Business, that if you needed to, we can step up to have a policy around this as well. That is an option that you will have with Okta. In this case, we go ahead and configure our pin, set it up, and then wait to be registered into Azure AD and have a device that's ready to go. Now that we're on the machine, the first thing we'll want to check is to make sure that user was truly onboarded with the access they were given. So we'll go ahead and take a look under settings. We gave the users admin permissions just for the demo, so you can go ahead and see that Hermione has been onboarded to this device as an admin, and this device has been Azure AD joined to the domain. You could also support hybrid cases in this scenario. And if we go to the admin console now, we'll notice that under Hermione, we can see under devices that not only is this device active, we have the information and understanding of this device being Azure AD joined and enrolled into Intune as the MDM. Now, being enrolled into Intune means getting the applications and policies configured through Intune. And in this case, it's Okta Verify, our application, which will help us do seamless access on these devices. You'll notice that we saw the trigger for that install starting. You could customize that even further to be completely silent. Once Okta Verify has been installed, I will need to go through a one-time setup where I register this device to Okta. So I go ahead and type in my information here. It just includes the tenant URL followed by a login event. We've chosen a simple login event for demo purposes today, but you can actually customize this just like the other policies I talked about, including contextual checks as well as MFA. So we go ahead and type in our username here. And just to call out, this is only a one-time step that is customizable based on how long you want these sessions to last with the Okta Verify app on the device. Now that we've completed registration, we'll notice that the account has been configured in Verify, and we're now set up to have seamless access to any app behind Okta. So let's go ahead and test that out. We're going to choose Salesforce as an example today. So I go ahead and type in the URL for Salesforce, and you'll notice that without any prompts, I will be able to log in. You'll notice that I've been logged in as Hermione to Salesforce that's gated behind Okta. This is truly amazing because I can actually do this for not just one application, but almost anything behind Okta. If we look at the Okta admin console, you'll notice that this is a new section for us where you'll see that this is a registered device that's associated with Hermione. Now, this is a big deal because we're starting to give a more visible way of looking at what are the experiences and context that a device can give you. Is it Intune managed or not? And this also gives us the ability to have lifecycle states like suspend and deactivate and truly give you an experience that makes sure that you're not only the right user, but also the right device that's able to adopt the policies and tools that you need to be successful. With that, we hope that was a useful demo to see how an onboarding experience would look like. And the really cool part is this is just the first time setup, right? Post the first time setup, the user won't even go through that flow and can just automatically access the pieces they need based on the security policies that you define. So just to go back to some of the takeaways that we've seen in this section. First, you've seen a lot of announcements around our ability to do a lot of new things with devices, including Okta FastPass that we just showed you. I highly recommend looking into the other sessions and content around Okta's new devices platform to see all the amazing things that we can do with Windows 10 and all the other devices as well. Second, AutoPilot is a great feature that Microsoft has introduced. We really hope you can start to use Okta to secure that process with MFA and so much more to make sure that your users are secure from the day they onboard all the way through when they need to be deprovisioned. Last but not the least, Windows Hello for Business is a great way for you to allow seamless access on Windows machines. That enrollment process is key and important, and you can use our feature PassClaim MFA to add MFA to that flow. With that, one of the things that we really want to touch on and come back to is that we're here to support you, not just in the features that you see today, not just in the software that you see today, but also any new tool that you see to make you successful and productive. We hope that we can support you on your journey to adopt the latest Microsoft technologies to truly increase usability and productivity at your company. With that, I'm going to hand it off to Venkatesh to close us off with the roadmap for our session.
Great. Thanks, Vijay and Snegha, talking about all the features we've been working on and continue to work on. Let me take you through a bit of a roadmap as we wrap things up in this session. Vijay and Snegha talked a bunch about the things we're working on, most of which should land in the first half of this year. But I'll touch on a few things from the second half that we hope to develop that could be quite interesting as well. In the area of secure access to Office 365, one of the things that we'll be enabling or looking to enable in the second half of the year is passwordless login to Office 365 using the new Identity Engine platform that we're building at Okta. If you don't know much about it, there are other sessions that go into it in detail, so please check them out. In the area of automation, one of the nice things you can get once you start adopting Office 365 workflows with the Okta platform is the ability to manage distribution lists and modern groups with Office 365. We're very, very excited about this investment. We're hoping we'll get it to beta in the second half of the year as well. And finally, for adopting Windows 10 and transforming IT, Snegha and Vijay talked a bunch about Okta FastPass, as well as enforcing MFA for Windows AutoPilot, and we'll be bringing those to EA and GA in the second half of the year as well. So as you can see, there are a ton of investments we're doing in this area, We hope that all of you can take advantage of them very soon. A little bit of a plug for Okta Ideas. As you've been listening to this roadmap, we know you'll have a ton of questions, a ton of feedback about it. So please use Okta Ideas to communicate with us. We have a PM team that looks at this every day, so check it out. And as you walk away from this session, please consider signing up for our beta programs. Try these latest integrations and developments that we've been talking about. And reach out to your customer service manager or account rep to get access to Office 365 workflows. And play around with it. Try to automate a few workflows with O365. Give us feedback. We think you'll be as impressed with it as we are. It's quite powerful, so check it out for sure. And with that said, there are a few other sessions around collaboration, B2B collaboration, the future of device identity, and other related topics going on at Octane right now. If they've already happened, don't worry. Every single session will be available on video for you to watch. And with that said, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join us today. We know that many of you are going through a tough time right now, and we appreciate that you could have spent that time looking at what we have to offer. Please stay safe wherever you are. Thank you.